Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for iOS today is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com. Hi, everybody. It's time for our annual audience survey. We'd really like to hear from you. It helps us understand our audience better, know what you like and don't like, how you listen to the show. It also helps us tell advertisers what kind of people listen. But I promise you, your feedback is always kept personally anonymous. All you have to do is visit twit.tv/survey and let us know what you think. It'll just take a few minutes, and it'll help us make Twit even better. We really appreciate your support and any help you can give us. twit.tv/survey.
Coming up, we have a bot for that.
Oh, and are you wondering how you can keep your pictures safe forever? I got a way.
And finally, an app that makes this $100 pencil worth it, even if you're not an artist.
What? It's time for iOS Today. iOS Today is brought to you by PillPack, a full-service pharmacy that combines modern technology, convenient packaging, and personalized service to make your life easier. Visit PillPack.com/twit to save $20 on vitamins and OTCs when you transfer your prescriptions. And by Squarespace. Squarespace is the simplest way to create a beautiful website or cover page for your portfolio, business, or online store. Enter the offer code iOS Today and get 10% off. Squarespace, you should. And by Gazelle, the online marketplace for buying and selling used gadgets. Shop from a variety of certified pre-owned electronics or trade one in for cash. Give new life to a used device at Gazelle.com today. Hello and welcome to iOS Today. I'm Leo Laporte.
I am Megan Maroney.
And we owe you all an apology.
We do?
Well, it's not our fault. It's this guy, Abraham and George. It turns out we took last Monday off.
Oh, we did, yeah.
I showed up. Nobody was here, so I went home. It's President's Day, but that is a little-known holiday in the rest of the world. Nobody else celebrates Lincoln and Washington's birthday.
Yeah, we didn't tell anybody, I guess.
And we didn't really say anything about it. So I got a number of people said to me, what happened to iOS Today on Monday, last Monday? That would be the 17th? No, the 15th. That was President's Day, and we were celebrating, as we do in the United States. Men are expected to put on a beard, women put on a white curly wig, and we go around saying, "Prithee, sir."
That's not how I celebrated.
You don't?
I celebrated by posting a picture of my dog on Twitter and saying that he was running for president, and it was probably the most engagement I've ever gotten on a tweet.
Because
everyone wants to vote for my dog for president.
Looking for a candidate.
Yes.
Who is it? Finally, a candidate we can vote for.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's how I celebrated.
Yeah. Well, we took the day off. We didn't have a show, and it wasn't a mistake or an omission. We actually didn't plan to have a show, but we neglected to mention it. So I apologize.
But here we are.
Here we are. We're back.
Caught up.
Yeah.
You know?
I hope you're caught up.
Yeah.
What are we going to do today, Megan?
Bots.
Bots.
We're gonna talk about bots, not like robots. Chat bots.
Kind of like robots.
A little bit, yeah. And not like the bad, like botnets, not the bad bots. The good bots that help you in your everyday life until then they take your job and you're sorry you ever invited them into your life.
Bots are already huge in messaging applications around the world. WeChat, which is a Chinese messaging application, has bots that will do everything from get your well, they don't get it, but they'll tell you, your dry cleaning is ready, to ordering train tickets. And it's one of the reasons people kind of live in WeChat. So we're starting to get more and more bots in our messenger programs. But this came up not because of a messenger bot, but because of Quartz.
Yes, Quartz they're part of the Atlantic Group. They are a news site.
It's a great news site.
Yeah, I love their news site.
Yeah.
And they have a bot that will give you the news and chat with you about it.
See, I think this is an interesting program. They only put it out for iOS. And only for the iPhone. But I think the reason they did this, the Quartz News app, is they're testing it out with real users, iOS users, to eventually put it in all messenger apps. Don't you think?
I think so. Yeah, we talked to one of the developers of the app from Quartz on Tech News Today.
Oh, good.
And he said, yeah, there's an iOS, but they're working on the Android version.
Why even bother? Because you're going to get the information, and then you put it in text messaging.
Right.
Because you could, right? The way this works, you put it in Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Telegram, and all of a sudden it's everywhere. You don't even have to worry about making an Android version.
And of course, it's ad supported, as you can see.
So how does this work?
So here, you just install it, and then it looks like iMessage, but it's really the Quartz app. That's what this is.
That top thing is an ad for a Mini Cooper.
Yes, I already have one, and they probably know that.
No, I get it too. See,
Oh, you
I'm
do?
getting it too.
Okay.
They're a big sponsor to this. This is not surprising. The Atlantic Group is very digital. They understand, and they've done very well at converting their paper readers, their magazine and newspaper readers, to digital. And Quartz, it was a site launched a couple of years ago. It was really state-of-the-art, modern, interesting. And this app is too. Have you been using it?
I have. It looks like we're getting the same news.
Yeah, this nerdy. Go ahead.
This nerdy scene may foretell the future of social media.
And it's Mark Zuckerberg at the Samsung Unplugged event yesterday. Not Unplugged. What do they call it? Unbound? Huh?
Unpacked.
I knew it was something. It was kind of a little tricksy thing that Samsung did, because they had everybody put on their VR visors, and they're watching, happily watching a movie. Meanwhile, Mark Zuckerberg is sneaking up the aisle, and that's this picture, by the way, it's from Mark, sneaking up the aisle to get on stage. When they take off their visors after the movie, he's there, magically appeared. It's a little magic trick.
So we can either say what the, that means we want to learn more.
You want to know more?
Or next, go to the next story.
I actually want to what the. So do you go to next?
I'll go to next, and you go to what the.
What's interesting is you're now getting your news as a dialogue. So then the story I just told you. If you want to know more, there's a little right arrow. There's usually an animated GIF. See, there's a dumb little animated GIF. Whoops, that went back to the settings. And then after you read all you want, this is going to pull me to a story. By the way, not a Quartz story necessarily, but a story elsewhere on the web. Then after you're done, you go, or if you don't care, you go anything else, right?
So yeah, so that gave me a story.
You don't have to
about
type
Switzerland.
anything, which is
no,
nice.
you just choose, like the smart replies in your Apple Watch. And there is an Apple Watch app too, and I get alerts on my Apple Watch, which is nice.
They often have emojis in there. Switzerland's 1,000 franc note is in high demand, and then there's a Swiss flag and a banknote emoji, so you could choose that or go to the next one. Have you been using this regularly?
I have. I do like the Apple Watch apps. The notifications are not oppressive. It notified me when Harper Lee died on Friday, and I knew that from my watch.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Getting news on your watch.
It is. And just, yeah.
And this is a format much better suited to the watch than just like a big long text article.
So you're not really interacting. You don't get any more choices than the two. You don't get to say, really? Why did Mark Zuckerberg do that? Tell me what Mark Zuckerberg is going to do next. You don't get all that. But I like it. Quartz. So just
it is really, I mean, it's a news app clothed in the shape of a chatbot, but it is. But I think if you were going to do it's not an app. I mean, it doesn't make sense in an app, to be honest with you.
No.
It's kind of fun. I felt like they were just trying to get information about users so that they could release a bot for Messenger apps.
Probably.
That's where this belongs, in WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger.
I mean, they said they just want to have people, I mean, anything to keep you from
engaged.
going to another website and getting your news. I mean, because that's the thing, like, they're not necessarily breaking stories. These are stories you could see in a lot of different places.
Yeah. Well, just like Snapchat, we all are looking for new ways to consume news, and the mobile, experience is very different than a desktop computer experience. So web pages don't translate all that well. That's not really the ideal way to read on a little screen like this, even a big screen like this. So it makes sense that people be trying different things. I think this works singularly well. Although I know it's not one of the regular apps I use all the time. Because it doesn't have any other features. I mean, it's basically just a conversation.
Yeah, I use it and then I'm done. Like, there's not, it doesn't give
it does,
you
by
every
the way, get
story.
to the end.
Yeah, it's not too long. There's not that many stories.
Yeah, it's maybe 7.
I feel like
stories.
it's enough. Yeah.
Just
I've been using it regularly, but not, I mean, it doesn't give me an overview of every news story ever.
Bots are everywhere. I remember we used to use Slack with our web design team, and there were a number of bots in there. There's a Giphy, Giphy, that's a bot that's designed to either automatically put animated GIFs in your timeline or on your command. So you get a GIF-style keyboard. It's from RiffC. They have it on the iOS keyboard as well. You either get a keyboard that lets you search for GIFs, but I found out about it that I didn't even know it was installed when I typed, "that's nice," somebody did something good, and I typed, "that's nice," and all of a sudden a giant picture of Borat going, "that's nice," shows up. And I went, that's scary. Then I thought, is that because I typed that's nice? And I
Yeah.
typed it again and it came up with a different picture of Borat.
Right.
So that's a bot. This is completely automated. There's also, and I love this, and I can't show you because they turn it off, but I think it's because it was such a time sink. But there was a bot, a Trebek bot in there that would play Jeopardy with you and really play Jeopardy. It would give you the category, give you the clue. You would bet money. It would tell you how much money you'd won. You would accumulate money. It would keep track of it. Multiple people could play in the chat room or just you by yourself. And there were real clues from Jeopardy because it turns out some crazy person has written, maybe not crazy, I shouldn't say that, but it's crazy about Jeopardy, has written an API and has put every Jeopardy question and answer ever in there. And they continue to update it with more questions and answers. It's called JService. And so that's what this bot uses. It just uses an API to. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So there's news, there's entertainment.
Well, yeah, as long as we're talking about Slack bots, there's a toilet bot for Slack if you happen to work in an office space where you need to know when the toilet is available.
You can ask?
So I think we have a picture of the technology down there on the tweet.
This reminds me of the very first webcam.
Here,
You remember the very first webcam? It was the Cambridge coffee pot cam at Cambridge University.
It's similar.
It was a little camera sitting looking at a coffee pot, and you could look before you went down to get a cup of coffee.
Okay, so here are the electronics built into the toilet stall. And then you go to Toilet Bot on Slack to get notifications whenever the toilet becomes busy or available. So that's nice if you have a big office
Why
and you
are
only have
electronics
one bathroom.
on the stall? And then you could even get text alerts.
Yeah, I think this is pretty useful. I mean, I know we're looking for a new studio. Maybe you have one, you're like, oh, there's only one bathroom. Who cares? We all get on Slack. We know when the bathroom's available.
I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised at the upgraded bathrooms in the new studio.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Then we won't need. We'll figure out another bot.
They're beautiful.
They are.
Beautiful.
I thought we didn't already know where our new studio
Well,
was.
there's several choices, and both of them are beautiful.
We won't need a toilet bot, is what you're saying.
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, so Slack.
You don't mind
endless
unisex
bots.
bathrooms with one stall, do you?
Well, yeah, that's
Beautiful.
another reason why.
No.
The toilet bot.
There's all there. No, we got all.
No.
We got men. All three: men, women, and other. We got all the bases covered.
Good. All right, so should we talk about Telegram bots?
I love, as you know, that's my favorite messenger. But the sad thing about a messenger is unless all the people you know and love use it, it's not any good, is it?
But you could just use bots. And then
Yeah.
bots
So
will
I
use
have a
whatever
bot.
you want.
That's where I put my bot. Actually, I put it in two places.
Wait, you have a bot?
You didn't know that?
No, like.
Oh, I forgot to mention. Oh, yes, I have a bot. So I put it in two places. Now, I'll tell you how you create the bot before we do anything else. Oh, it looks like I haven't logged on to Telegram on this. This is a new, this is my iPad.
Did you use ManyBot to create this bot?
Well, I used a service that was until yesterday called PackBot, but they've changed the name. It is actually, so you can write bots if you're a coder. It's not too hard in Telegram, but there are services that will enable bots. And actually, I used 3 different services to create my bot. So what my bot does is actually pretty cool. Is it will let you know, let me just log in here. Hold on, I'm waiting for my code. Oh, hey, here's some good news. I've just been offered a payday loan.
Huh.
I hope the boss doesn't mind. Hope this additional cash will help you reach your New Year goals. To collect your funds, press 1 now. That's another kind of bot that we don't like. Did
We
you?
don't like the
You
bot.
were. I was going to say,
was
did
there.
you see? But
That was me that was with you.
we did a bot to
Yeah.
respond to telemarketers on the new screensavers on
Yeah,
Saturday.
you should definitely watch that.
Hysterical.
It's really good. The Jolly Roger.
Yeah,
bot
and
to
he's got a
respond.
Kickstarter going and everything. Well, I haven't received the code.
Well, I have, so I can find your bot. I've got Telegram open
Okay,
here.
so
What should I search
follow
for?
at Chief Twit Bot, because I'm the Chief
Okay.
Twit. Now, the way I did this is, what are you doing? Wait a minute, hold on there.
I know, you gotta wait
That's
till the
coming
end.
up later?
At Chief Twit.
B-O-T.
Doesn't recognize my,
Oh, Chief Twit is not right.
oh,
What are you doing? Yeah, that's so much better. That is such an improvement.
I told you, if my demo
It's
doesn't
just
work.
getting
we've got
worse.
Chief
Twit
Twit.
Bot. The Mechanical Leo. It's right up there at
Oh.
the top.
The mechanical Leo.
The mechanical Leo. So,
ooh, a simulacrum. Simulacrum? Is that it?
Simulacrum.
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 Similac.
Simulacrum.
What does it say?
A simple simulacrum of Leo
So you
Laporte.
see at the bottom it says, you can kind of not see it, it says start. All bots on, all you have to do to have a bot on Telegram, to follow one, is invoke it, like by saying its name, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Didn't say the rest.
Okay, so it says create your own Telegram bot. Is that what I should press?
No, you're subscribed. Now, this is an ad right here for the company that did it, which is now called Chat Rule Bot.
Chat Fuel.
Chat Fuel Bot. They used to be called PackBot. So, the way this works is really, it's kind of fun. They will set up all the back stuff for a bot. And by the way, chat bots are very powerful on Telegram. You can have a broadcast, you can do all sorts of fun things. You can have interactions, you can have menus. The bot can be very, very sophisticated. Mine isn't. All it does is it lets you know when there's a new podcast posted, audio podcast. When I post an Instagram, I could post text into it. When I post on my blog, it also tells you things because I've got it connected to my automatic, you know, that thing we advertise that goes in your car. It tells you when I pull up out front. So it says, you know, get ready, here comes Leo, hide the booze, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a really useful thing. But I originally set it up with PackBot, and then I realized I should probably put this on Twitter too for a wider distribution. So it's also Chief Twitbot on Twitter. And the way I used it is with two programs. If This Then That, you're familiar with that. We've talked about that before. IFTTT, there's an app for iOS. And then a kind of a more professional version of that called Zapier, Z-A-P-I-E-R. And both those things are watching. Like If This Then That, I have a recipe that says, if Leo pulls up within this geographic area, you should tweet that Leo's pulled up, things like that. And then the bot, in this case now, just watches my Twitter. So I have everything going to Twitter, and the bot watches my Twitter. And when that channel, Chief Twitbot, tweets, it puts it into this. So there it is. That's Leo Labot.
Leo Labot.
And I just do audio just for ease. I don't post all the things. And then if I put an Instagram, there I am getting green toenails. It's not a medical procedure. It was actually a pedicure. So my Instagrams go there, and so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody tweeted that I'm repulsive because of that picture.
Oh,
yeah,
come
I know.
on.
Green toenails are all the rage in the swamp where I come from.
Some people don't like to see other people's toes. I get it.
I don't blame them. I don't want to see them.
Cool.
So it's easy. In other words, you could make a bot. Anybody can make a bot. You could make a bot because it's so easy on Telegram. And there are lots of bots as a result.
Well, there's the ManyBot lets you create your own bots too.
Oh, that's another one. Okay.
Yeah.
Same idea.
And the Apple PR bot, we've talked
Did
about
I tell you
'cause
about that?
told me
Yeah, I
about
get all the
that.
press releases. The minute they come out from Apple, I get them. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. And the Assist bot, we've also talked about a little bit. Here you can see all the hotels I'm not going to
Now
say
that's
in
more than just one place. I can use that on Facebook Messenger, even text messages.
Yeah, I'll show you what it looks like in the text message. So here's what AssistBot I just added. It's one of my connections.
AssistBot.
And
is it AssistBoomBot?
Still okay to show that. So yeah, I can say what I want.
Yeah,
AssistBot. So that's just in my text. You don't have to use Telegram or anything.
There are a million Telegram bots. There's even a bot store that you can go to on Telegram. There's actually several that will tell you what bots are out there.
So we've talked about this before, but you can get a ride, food delivery. So what I like about Get a Ride is you can tell if you're going to use Uber or Lyft or a taxi, it tells you what the best price is between the three. It tells you the price of all three.
See, I think these things are going to get smarter and smarter. In fact, some bots are actually humans. Facebook has a bot called M that's actually humans. You'll message M, and you have to sign up, and it's very limited, and only a few people are getting to use it in San Francisco. But that's the idea: is a human will then call and order you food or stuff like that. So I think this is just the beginning. The reign of the bots is about to begin.
It is. So there's also another bot in the UK, a robot lawyer. Have you heard of this robot lawyer?
Yes, I have. We just talked about it on Triangulation, actually.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Shall we talk about it again?
Yeah, no, please do, because we did a show on Triangulation about the future of professions. And this is an example of a kid who's putting lawyers out of business.
Yeah. Should we go through it? I signed up. So this is do not pay.co.uk.
Now, this is if you get a UK parking ticket, or does it work in the US
I don't know. We'll find out. So I signed up. I entered my email address. So now, which of these best describes why you shouldn't receive a parking ticket?
So you pick your excuse.
Should we say I was traveling to the hospital urgently?
That sounds good.
Okay.
What are some other ones?
Vehicle had diplomatic immunity. I paid for the
That's good.
incorrect registration, missing details on the PCN. So I
So
pressed
tell the
that.
truth, I presume.
And now it's,
Yeah.
it's
Is
thinking.
it thinking?
It's thinking.
Is it generating a plea bargain?
I guess so.
You're only going to get 2 months?
Yeah. This robot doesn't work as fast as
This
my
is on
lawyer.
a website, which is don't.
Do not
Do
pay.
not. Oh, and you know what?
Too many
We broke it.
redirects. Could be because
We
I was just
broke it.
sitting there waiting for it
No,
to go. Yeah,
we broke it. Everybody went there. Do not pay.co.uk. This guy is a 19-year-old. He says he saved people £2 million, $3 million in parking fees.
Well, you can see why, because sometimes, you always know that. Like, if
Nobody
you took the
appeals.
time to appeal
Yeah.
and then,
He says about 40% of the appeals are approved. Now, this is in the United Kingdom. This is not in the U.S. but
Right.
Isn't that clever? That's the kind of bot I need more of.
Yeah. I got one more bot.
Okay.
Xiaoice. It's only available in China, but it is an assistant that everyone in China is telling that I love you. Everyone loves Xiaoice.
That's what you do? You just say I love you?
Well, no, it's just it's basically what it's a test. They're testing this bot, but what they found is that people want to interact with bots more often than regular people.
I know I do.
So they did. So millions of people are just saying, it's a chat bot. Remember Smarter Child? Do you remember Smarter Child?
Yeah.
That was one of the first bots way back, like in the 2000s. It was like an AOL bot or something.
When we showed you Toy Talk, we actually did it on here. That they're now doing Barbie, but for a while it was an app. The kids would get asked open-ended prompts, and they would really, they would talk to the purple hippopotamus or whatever on the program. It was pretty interesting.
Well, yeah, this is interesting.
Kids are getting ready for the world of bots.
I don't know if you can download Xiaoice in the United States.
Would you call Amazon's Echo a bot? I guess it's a bot.
No, but
No?
I mean,
It's not a chat bot, but you ask it a question, it responds. You ask another question, it
guess so.
responds. You say, call me a cab, it gets you a cab.
But I don't know if anyone else was having this problem, but my Amazon Echo was acting up a bit today.
Really?
Well, I asked her if Helen Hunt was in Titanic, the movie.
Which she wasn't, but go ahead.
It was a question,
an
you're over
interesting
breakfast
question.
with your family, and you're like, wasn't she?
She wasn't in, no.
And then she
You could
said,
ask me that.
Leo,
I could've
was
told-
Helen Hunt
No.
in Titanic? No. And you would,
I don't know what that question means.
No, she said, I'm sorry, I'm working harder on coming up with better local businesses. And then I asked her another unrelated question, and she answered the same thing.
Milo and Huck got peanut butter on the microphone. I would wipe Alexa down with a damp cloth.
Okay.
I think there's a little.
If
there's
anyone else
beans
has
in
been
her
having
ears.
because everything I asked, she was looking
No,
for
we weren't
local
having that problem.
businesses.
No.
Okay.
In fact, we're now up to 4 Alexas.
What?
And I have to tell you, this is not such a good idea because you can't have them close enough that they can hear you. More than one can hear you. Because now I'll say something in the kitchen and I hear a lot of conversation in different rooms. They're all talking. They're all talking.
She has a pretty wide range. I mean,
You
she
can
reaches,
hear,
but
Alexa
you need
can
4?
hear you. Well, the idea it's actually the most sophisticated thing in Alexa is actually the array microphones that allow you to use her across the room. That is, so we talk a lot about Alexa. That's okay to talk about on this show. I got one for the studio too, by the way. We're at the studio. Well, it came, and then Lisa's dad's birthday was Friday, and she saw it sitting on the table. I said, "Yeah, I'm bringing that to work." She said, "Can I give it to my dad? I don't have a birthday present." I said, "Well, yeah, well, of course you can."
That's what I gave my dad for his birthday this year.
He loves it.
Yeah, my dad loves it too.
He loves it, and so does her mom.
Everybody
Now they're in their
loves
70s, but they love it because they can ask for music. And see, they're a little older, so they don't mind that the Alexa speaker is not the best speaker ever, right? I want to hear it on a better sound system, but they don't mind. They're listening to Elvis. What do they care?
I don't mind either.
You know?
My dad's not that old, and he doesn't mind either.
No, well, maybe I'm wrong on that one. I feel like I wish Sonos had Alexa built into it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I could go on about Alexa.
But that's a
probably
bot.
shouldn't, but-
It's not an
but-
iOS bot, but it's a bot.
Yeah, isn't
And
it interesting
Siri in
how
your
many
TV's
people?
a bot.
Yeah.
Right? Because I press that. I actually choose Apple TV now because I can go, what did he say?
Yeah.
I do that a lot. Skip back a minute. I missed what just happened.
Yeah.
Skip back 2 minutes. Because that's so useful, just that alone. So I feel like Siri's in my TV.
Yeah, I
like
don't know
that.
what the difference between AI and a bot is, really.
Well, I think what we thought originally is chatbots. But as long as we're talking bots,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to just be for chat.
Yeah, it is the future. I'm always fascinated by the amount of people that have the Echo. Even Julian Sanchez from the Cato Institute, who we
was
talked
great.
to,
Yeah, I
he was
remember.
like, he was telling all this, really long story about privacy and it's really, its importance. And then he just dropped in the fact that I've got this Echo here that's
listening
probably
all the
listening to
time.
everything I said. And I've heard other people say that.
You know
yeah.
what? If I don't have an Echo in the room, I have a Xbox with Connect in the room. If I don't have an Xbox with Connect, I've definitely got Google and iPhone listening. Everywhere I go, some machine is listening to my words. I'm not worried about it.
I'm
Not
not
till
worried.
they drag me off.
I have one more Echo question for you, though. Sometimes when you ask a question and then a long time goes by and then you hear the burp burp, the end sound, does that mean that...
She failed.
Okay, it doesn't mean that there was listening happening between the beginning of your question and all the way to then.
Could be. I think the way she's supposed to work is you say a speech pattern that she can internally recognize. And she's not very sophisticated. The processor in there is a digital media processor from Texas Instruments. It's not a super fast processor. So it's just looking at everything, all the buzzing going on all the time. That's all she sees. And she's looking for something that looks like the two words she responds to. Her name and Amazon. And if she sees one of those, then she perks up her ears and starts recording everything you're saying. Immediately, by the way, you don't have to wait for her to respond. Immediately after she recognizes it, she starts recording and sending that back to the server. But she'll stop recording when there's silence. She can tell silence. You notice I call her she?
Yeah.
And so then I think what that boop means is she was thinking and couldn't come up with it. She had no idea what you're saying. But you know how you can find out? You look at the Alexa app.
Oh, it's, yeah.
If you have an Alexa, you need to put the Alexa app on your iPhone, because then you can actually see what she thought you said. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I look because I can see what my kids say when I'm not around.
You can even see what she has sent back to the home office, so you'll get some idea of what kind of things you're
Yes.
listening to back in
It
Amazon
is
headquarters.
interesting. We should do a whole episode on
Well, that's why I bought one
Echo.
for the studio.
Well,
it's in my
I have a show
father-in-law's.
idea. It's called Twitter. This week in the Amazon Echo. Twitter.
Twitter.
If you like
Twitter. It sounds like
let
a great
Leo know.
Scottish show.
Twitter.
I think we should do a bot show, like just a smart
Yeah.
things talking back to you show.
We should probably finish doing this show before we start another show.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about PillPack?
Let's not start another show. Right now, I do. This is my favorite idea, at least for the next 5 minutes, because it's again, which we see all the time on this network, a company that's using the internet to change the way an old school business works. In this case, your pharmacy. So PillPack is a pharmacy. It's an online pharmacy, really nice website, easy to use. Nice pharmacists too, who are, unlike your pharmacist, available by phone 24/7. So you can get advice in the middle of the night in the privacy of your own home. You don't have to have that embarrassing conversation. So is this for fungal infections? No, it's not. It's what exactly is your problem? Well, I have warts. Oh, that kind of conversation. You don't want to have that conversation.
No, you do not.
Not in the drugstore. So you have it now on the phone, a little bit more privately. I got sidetracked by that. What I was really going to tell you about, which is much more important, is yes, it's a pharmacist. Yes, you could talk to them. There's somebody on duty all the time. But here's how they deliver your medications in a pill pack. And this is so cool. These are packed by robots. Talk about bots. The robotic machines are better than humans because you see, first of all, you see the label on here. It says your name. It says the date. It has an image of each pill you take, whether it's over-the-counter medications or prescription medications, the name of it, the dosing, and the directions. And that's all there on the box, but it's also right here on the little pouch. These pouches have date and time on them. So you know, oh, this is my 12 p.m. pills for Saturday. You know what's in there. In this case, it's just vitamins, cranberry, vitamin C and D. You tear it off. You open it up. By the way, none of this, child-proof packaging. So be careful around the kids. You got to lock it up. But that's nice for me. I don't need child-proof packaging,
No.
and I don't want to be wrestling with a bottle. PillPack makes it easy. And if you're traveling, you take the pill packs you need for your trip. You tear them off, you put it in your purse or your pouch, and everything is perfectly measured. They are packed by the robot, but then you see the pharmacist, he looks at them, he checks them, or she. So it is absolutely the best way to get exactly the right medication. And notice, if you have inhalers or other devices that can't be put in the PillPack, they'll pack it in the box with you as well. Automatic refills, they work with your doctor. It works with most kinds of insurance. In fact, you don't have to pay for it, basically. It's no more than your copay. They pay the postage, so it doesn't cost any more. Such a great idea. It works with most forms of Medicare Part D, most major insurance plans. Shipping's always free. Time Magazine called it one of their top 25 inventions of last year. Jill Duffy, you know Jill, gave it a great review. She gave it her editor's choice in PC Magazine. And there's even a PillPack medication reminder for the iPhone and the Apple Watch. That's what I really like about this. If you have somebody in your family who's on medication, maybe your mom or dad, your elders, and they don't, you can't remember to take it. I'm already that way. Did I take it this morning or not? PillPack solves that problem. You don't have to fussily put all your pills in different little pill minders and stuff. This is so great. You got to try it. In fact, we got a good deal for you. Go to PillPack.com/twit. Find out if your insurance covers it. They can help you do that right away. And of course, they won't transfer your prescriptions unless it does. Then they'll arrange with your physician. They'll transfer your prescriptions over to PillPack. And as I said, they automatically handle refills, which I really like, because I always run out and then I go, oh, I've got to get a refill. So PillPack.com/twit. And if you do move your prescriptions over there, we're going to give you $20 worth of vitamins or over-the-counter medications as a thank you. PillPack, PillPack.com/twit.
All right, Cloth Cap in the chat room
Hi, Cloth Cap.
Pointed out that Shao Ice is a Microsoft product. So
I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
So that's Cortana posing,
maybe
probably
in China, like figuring out.
You could, because you could type to Cortana and as well as talk to Cortana. I really feel like we are like inches away from these smart bots just being so useful or so creepy.
It's true.
Or both.
So it was a relief to spend some time talking not about the Apple case against the FBI, but I think
know, we did
should,
spend a lot of time. Oh my gosh.
iOS today, and we didn't have, the news broke Wednesday night or Tuesday night, so we did not get to talk about it.
Well, we don't need to debate the merits of it, but I think
if,
there's some technical things you might want to know.
Yeah.
For instance, a lot of people wonder, well, what kind of iPhone did the FBI have? What would Apple do to that iPhone? Would it affect my iPhone? And I can answer some of those questions. So the iPhone they got, the shooters in it's a tragic shooting in San Bernardino, husband and wife, of course they both died in a hail of gunfire. They had destroyed their personal smartphones before they went on their rampage. So that is not what we're talking about. This was a cell phone that I won't call him a gentleman, that the man had, that was provided by his employer, the San Bernardino County Health Department. It was an iPhone 5C. It had been updated to the most recent software, one thing we don't know is if it was a but it was apparently locked. We don't know if it was a 4-character or the more modern, what is it, 6 characters now? 6 characters would be a lot harder to break. The FBI has this phone. One of the first things they did is they tried to get into the backups, because it turns out they also probably had his Macintosh, whether it was at work or at home or his Windows PC, and that the phone had been backed up. So the first thing they did is try to get in his backups. They didn't know his iCloud password, so they had his employer change the iCloud password. Wish they hadn't. Because as Apple pointed out, if you'd called us earlier, we could have told you, leave the password, bring the phone to a Wi-Fi access point that the phone's already attached to. And as you know, if you have Wi-Fi backups turned on, it will start backing up. You're going to get a recent backup. Unfortunately,
without the passcode, without entering the passcode.
Right. Now that data may be encrypted or maybe not. You know, when you do the backup, you have a choice. Always check encrypted, because then it'll back up passwords and other stuff. It'll back up everything. It won't back up passwords if you don't check it. I don't know, and I don't think the FBI knew whether that backup was encrypted or not. When they did get the password changed, they were able to log in. Lo and behold, the last backup was 6 weeks ago, so they didn't have any current information
6 weeks
on
from,
that.
it was October, so 6 weeks from then, not 6 weeks ago.
Prior to the shooting incident. So they said, oh, crud, we want to get on the phone now. He's got a passcode on it. Now, as you know, if you can set it, you don't have to, but you can set it that if you enter the passcode incorrectly 10 times, the phone can be erased. They don't know if the shooter had done that. They don't know. They don't want to take a chance. There's also a delay introduced, a 5-second delay between passcode guesses. Now, if he had a 4-digit passcode, that's 10,000 possibilities. And so, in theory, if they could get it to happen faster and they could stop it from deleting itself, they could create a machine that would just try passcode after passcode and then unlock it. That's what they petitioned Apple to do, and the court ordered Apple to do, is to modify the firmware on the 5C so that the FBI, they didn't ask Apple to decrypt the phone. They didn't ask Apple to give them the contents of the phone. They didn't even offer the phone to Apple. They said, this is all we want you to do. We want you to write new firmware for an iPhone, sign it, because it won't install on an iPhone unless you sign it with Apple's super secret signing key, and install it on the phone. And this is what we want that new firmware to do. A, disable the erase function, and B, speed up the login so that we can then C, give us either via Wi-Fi or via Bluetooth some way to tap the passcodes over and over and over again until we get one that lets them in. Now, Apple has 5 days, actually they now have 7, I think, to respond, until the 26th to respond. We don't know what Apple's response will be, but we suspect we know because Tim Cook immediately published an open letter at apple.com saying, we don't want to do it, this is the wrong thing to do, everybody needs strong encryption, and by us doing this, we would undermine that. And we wouldn't just undermine it for this one case, and this is up for debate, we wouldn't just undermine it for this one case, we would undermine it for all iPhones going forward. We don't, it's now, now this is very important, FBI is not asking for a backdoor, they're just asking them to put some modified code on that particular iPhone. But the fear is that the technique, the code, will be now owned by the FBI, and maybe others can get a hold of it. And at that point, you've lost kind of one of the crown jewels of Apple's privacy policies, which is that all iPhones, ever since iOS 8, yours and mine and yours, and that 5C, since iOS 8, are encrypted. And even Apple can't decrypt them, by the way. Even if they gave the phone to Apple and Apple tore out the hard drive and they couldn't decrypt it because it's encrypted with strong encryption, the only way to get the data on that phone is to figure out what the passcode is without getting the phone erased. Apple doesn't want to put that tool in the FBI's hands. The FBI says you have to. And they went to court and the court agreed. Apple will, I think, likely appeal. But the thing that you need to know is Apple, it's a couple of things we learned from this. By the way, Apple asked the FBI to do this in secret. They said, seal this order, and the FBI didn't. I think the FBI is looking to get a precedent. They'd like to do this more often. And one of the things that already has been established is that Apple has the capability to do this. Mm-hmm. Who knew, right? That they could put modified software on that phone.
How do they do it without having the passcode?
Well, that's a really interesting question. I don't know. Apple knows, and Apple didn't say we can't do it. And I think that would have been, had that been the case, that would have been their response. Guys, that's why we put out iOS 8. We didn't want to be in this business. We can't do it. They didn't say that, which means they can. Yeah. Whether it's connecting it to a computer that's specially configured and the phone then there must be some way to push firmware. If you think about it, it seems like a technique that Apple would have for repair purposes. This goes to the, and we'll probably get to this next, the error 53 problem. Because Apple has a fix for that as well. Yeah. So remember, and this is related, that we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I think we did.
The error 53,
yeah,
did we? Your iPhone.
Yeah. If you bring your iPhone, if you break your screen or break your fingerprint reader and you bring your iPhone to a third-party repair and they replace the screen and or fingerprint reader, what may happen in the process is that the special pairing between your fingerprint reader and some hardware in your phone called the Secure Enclave will be broken. Now, if you bring it to an Apple store, they'll restore it. And in fact, if they can't restore it, they'll give you a new iPhone. Because Apple really feels very strongly that once the fingerprint reader has been compromised, your phone has been compromised. You don't know if somebody's put something bad on there. You can't tell. Maybe it's reading your fingerprint. Maybe it's bypassing other security. So they put a check in there that if the fingerprint reader and the screen and the Secure Enclave were unpaired, that it would throw up an error. It turns out it threw up an error 53, that only showed up when you updated the phone. When you update the phone, error 53, your phone is bricked. You can't use it. Might as well throw it away, well, and I hope you didn't, because it's gone. Well, it turns out Apple's now pushed out a new iOS 9.2.1 that they can, in their store, or you can actually, connect your phone up to your iTunes. You have to do it physically with a USB cable. It will push to your phone and it will unbrick it. It'll restart your phone and it'll be fine. You'll lose the fingerprint functionality, as you should, because that's the point of all of this. They said that we apologize, we never intended to brick people's phones. This was an internal testing code that leaked out. So, but that goes back again to this FBI story, because that shows that they can, even on a phone that's bricked, push new firmware into it. Now this is fixed firmware. The phone is set up in such a way that unless it's signed by Apple's super secret cryptographic key, it won't run. That's for your safety also. That keeps a bad guy from doing the same thing. And they keep that key, we presume, under lock and key at the Apple headquarters, and probably only a couple of engineers have access to it. It might even require Tim Cook's presence, because they only have to sign the firmware when they update it. They don't do it all the time. So the FBI is asking them to do that, to put out signed firmware that's kind of malware, and Apple doesn't want to do it. So it's a very interesting case. I guess what we've learned from this is that, in fact, Apple could, if they wanted to, make malicious firmware. We trust that they won't do that. That the encryption is still good on your phone. If you have iOS 8 or 9 on here, you're fine. It's encrypted. No one can get it, not even Apple. But there is a way that Apple could perhaps unlock your phone. Now, what they didn't say is the fingerprint reader. The 5C doesn't have a fingerprint reader.
Right.
It may be that Apple can't bypass the fingerprint reader. We don't know. Apple's not saying.
It is really interesting. I mean, I have been thinking about this a lot. Okay, we talk on this show all about like all the different apps and everything that you can do with your phone, and all the pictures and all your personal life. Our lives are on this phone.
True.
So the government still doesn't have the ability to open up what's in here. Do you think they should have the ability to open up what's in here? Because it's an extension of us.
Yeah, the government cannot force you to give up a password, for instance. Courts have ruled that. But they can force you to give up hair, blood, fingerprint, DNA. That's not considered to be self-incriminating. So this physical thing, yes, they can. But the encryption, can they force you to give a passcode? No. Can they force you to do a fingerprint? Yes. So it's very complicated. I have a feeling the Supreme Court's going to end up ruling on this. The fact that everything is on here, well, I don't know. I mean, you might have written everything in your diary at home, right? But if they have a search warrant that includes specifically that diary, the Constitution says, and courts agree, and the law says they can go in and get it.
Right.
How personal it is not part of the conversation.
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, in a way it's just technology. It's like when the first uncrackable safe came. Like, it's just a new technology.
Right.
We had to figure out how to get in it. But I think we are entering a world where increasingly our devices are extensions of ourselves in a way.
And unlike your diary, you carry it around. And you might lose it, and it's online.
It's our brain. It's our directions.
It's important
it's our
that
phone
it be
numbers.
protected.
Yeah, it's
right?
everything that is in our brain.
Yeah, you want it to be secure, and I think that's really the issue. And what Apple's saying is, if we were to break this for anybody, including duly constituted law enforcement with a court order, it would weaken it for everybody. And there is too much important. I don't think Apple's arguing that the government doesn't have a right to this information. That's not what they're arguing.
Right.
What they're arguing is, if we do this for the government, there's no way to make sure it doesn't get to others, including repressive governments, hackers, bad guys. And by doing that, you're right, then this very most private of things is no longer safe. And they've done everything they can not to protect it against the government. That's really important. They've done everything they can to protect it against bad guys, but that would include everybody, right? And in other words, no one can see this unless you say it's okay. And that's what the government doesn't like. Now, I think there's a conversation that's often had and gets mixed into this about whether you trust the U.S. government or any government, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's really what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And I don't think Apple's saying, oh, I don't trust the government. They're saying, if we do this, though, we're letting the horse out of the barn. And that's too dangerous to do for something this important. And I kind of agree with them.
All right, well, I think it's opened up a really interesting conversation that is worth having. And the thing I love is that it doesn't break down on the same political lines as everything else does. It's not like, conservatives believe one thing and liberals believe another thing. I think privacy is one of those issues that really doesn't come down on either side. It's everybody wants it, and, it's important to understand it.
Something I learned in a triangulation interview with a guy who had worked inside the Beltway. He was for 4 years Hillary Clinton's advisor on technology. Is that there isn't a unified opinion in government. He said, yes, the FBI, its director, James Comey, really want backdoors to encryption. That's their end game. But he said, but that's not universally agreed to. He said, in fact, the NSA, of all people, has said, no, that would actually impair our national security. We need strong encryption. We have to make sure that there are no backdoors. That would be bad for security. The NSA has said that. So there's not even any agreement in government, let alone among the populace.
Right. So do you think that this is a specific problem that's coming at this time that won't be a future problem because, Comey and others don't exactly understand the technology, but we're getting in a phase where everyone is growing up with it, everyone understands that people are going to get degrees in cybersecurity, and then our government officials will just really understand this in a better way
I think
in 10 or 15
Director
years?
Comey understands it. Some members of Congress may not, but I think in general people understand.
Well, I guess our political, the people running for president on either side, I feel, based on things they've all said, they don't really understand this.
Maybe. It's also. I think you can understand it and still disagree. Is I guess what I'm saying. I think your question kind of implies that, well, if you really understood this, you would be on the side of strong encryption and no backdoors. And I don't know if that's the case. I think that there are people who say no. Yeah, we understand there's risks to having backdoors. We think it can be done safely, and we think we need to do it because it's the only way we can keep our country safe. And I don't think that that's an illegitimate argument at all, and I don't think it shows a lack of technological knowledge. In some cases, it's, people don't understand the consequences. But I think in most cases by now, people do.
Yeah.
But they come down on the side of no, but we still have to do it.
All right, I'm glad we had this talk.
Yes.
Thank you.
But where do babies come from again? Was that in there somewhere?
No.
Okay.
I had all my questions answered, and that one wasn't one of them. But let's move on to Mobile World Congress, which is not really an iOS.
Oh, is this fun?
But it is interesting. I mean,
Apple's not there, are they?
No, they're not there. They're never there. But the Galaxy S7 was released. Here's my big question. They're talking about how great it is that it's waterproof. But my S5 was also waterproof.
The S6 was not.
Well, so what?
In fact, Apple's never said that the iPhone is waterproof, but tests show that it is, or at least somewhat. I wouldn't dunk it if I were you.
No.
But my question is, why is that such a big deal? Do you drop your phone in the toilet a lot?
No, I mean, but you want to take it with you in the rain, that kind of thing, I guess.
Well, I think most phones are waterproof enough that they can get some raindrops on them, and then you just put it under your arm or something, right?
I agree.
It seems to be a big issue, and Samsung's responded. Now, it's not waterproof; it's water resistant. Oh. It's IP68, which means it can be held underwater as no more than 1.5 meters for half an hour. Perfect for dropping it in the toilet.
Yeah, perfect, which we do. Okay, so is there anything in the S7 that would make you switch from this little beauty to that?
I've done it before. I loved the S6. It's beautiful. In my opinion, the S7 and S6, with their curved edge, I like the edge version, is among the most beautiful phones made. I would say certainly rivals the iPhone 6s Plus, which I'm carrying right now. The camera on these things is spectacular. The S6 was as good as the iPhone. I think they may have done some things for low light that might make it even better than the iPhone. Of course, this is a seesaw battle. Apple always improves and then they improve. Of course, it really comes down to it's Android, and if you like Android or if you don't like Android.
Right.
And
if you're watching this, then you probably.
I'm very interested to see what battery life. It's not just the S7, by the way. LG's G5 also looks great. It has a removable battery and some expansion packs, one for high definition audio and one for photographers. It has a big lump, a giant camera, but then you have a camera button, you have a zoom scroll wheel on it, and you have a little rewind button so you can rewind the film. No, I'm just joking. But I feel like this is great. Competition is good. People try things, they push the envelope, and then the competitors, whether it's Apple or LG or Samsung, look at it and they go, oh, how can we improve ours? That's fabulous. One thing that LG did that I think is very interesting, there's 2 cameras on the back of the new G5. There's a normal camera and there's a super wide angle, 135 degree camera. That's interesting for selfies, things like that. We know also, or at least the rumor mill knows, and says that Apple's going to have 2 cameras in the back of its iPhone. Don't know what they're going to do with it, but that'll be interesting to see. Again, it's a back and forth battle. I will be, I have to, as my job, order both of them. They're coming soon, too, by the way. You can start ordering, I think, tomorrow for the S7. So probably in 2 weeks I'll have one, and I'll let you look at it. Excellent. It looks beautiful. I'm thinking I'm getting the rose gold.
Oh, they have rose gold?
No, they don't.
Oh.
They have a gold.
Well, some people say this isn't really rose gold either.
What is it? Is it pink?
Well, pink. I mean, rose, like the official rose gold, looks more gold than this usually, doesn't it? I don't know. I love this.
It depends see how you tilt it and it changes colors? That's what I like about it. It's a different color depending on the angle you look. Sometimes it's pinkish, sometimes it's golden, sometimes it's in between.
All right, so my iPad case. This is the Kavaj iPad Pro case.
Is this the one you had last week?
I had it. No, this is one I had on the screensavers, but they sent one for you too. Here's.
I'm sorry, but I can't accept this. Thank you. Anyway.
We can send it back.
So what do we like about it? It's leather?
Yes, it's
I like that.
Leather. So this is I am using the Berlin, and what you have is the Hamburg. And they are leather.
Hamburg or Hamburg? Hamburg, like a hat?
Hamburg.
Now mine doesn't have a stylus loop.
No, yours doesn't. They have different features.
Okay.
The Berlin has the pencil holder, which
I think that's
love,
pretty important for an iPad
because you
Pro.
lose it.
Yeah.
So I will. Lost my pencil.
Now I've really come around to Apple's case with the keyboard. I like having that keyboard.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not
I like having the keyboard too.
Heavy duty, but it's good enough for like entering passwords and things. All right.
But my app cap is a way to use the stylus, so I don't know if I need the keyboard. Okay, so
how does this go in?
This comes out here.
Oh, it's the miracle of Velcro.
And then unfold that, and then
Holy
you stick that
cow.
in. And so yours has a stand. Mine just has the stand, the non-adjustable stand, as I was showing you, and it was a little bit hard to figure out. I had to watch a video on the internet.
I like the leather color on yours.
Yeah, I like this brown leather too, and it comes with places to hold the credit cards and your actual papers, your files, and then the pencil holder. But yours has the adjustable stand.
Okay, as soon as I get it in, I'll show you. Is that like that?
But not the pencil holder.
Oh no,
and
this
then
has to go inside.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's a little kind of Velcro, and it
smells good.
It does. You could tell it's real leather,
vegan,
right?
It wouldn't smell good to you, but
no, it smells like dead cows. And so this one doesn't have multiple settings, just 3.
Yeah, 3
angles.
3 angles.
And no keyboard. Although if you're the kind of person that really wants to type, I think getting a Bluetooth keyboard, even Apple's Bluetooth keyboard with your iPad Pro is a good choice. Oh, it seems to have reset the iPad.
That's weird. That didn't happen for me.
I probably pushed the button.
This one has the magnets in it that put the iPad to sleep when you close it. You know that.
Oh.
That's what. But this one doesn't.
And then it has this thing. What does this do? That this little slot there, is that?
For your business card, perhaps. I don't know what that's for. I don't know what that's for. Kavaj, let us know.
Kavaj.
So,
Cavage.
Kavaj. And they're not cheap.
How much?
I think the prices are on. They should be on there. I think they're about yeah.
45 pounds, $59.90. $60. That's not that expensive.
No.
Apple's, for crying out loud, Apple's keyboard case is $170.
Yeah.
So
well,
we're in that territory here.
How much is the Hamburg?
It's a Hamburg. You can also get London.
Yeah,
Hamburg is
the brown
$70.
leather is a little more expensive.
This is more expensive. Oh,
Yeah.
cognac. That's not brown. That's
Brown.
cognac.
Cognac.
By the way, the review is very positive. Well, thank them for
Yes.
loaning this to me for 30 seconds, and I'm going to give it back to you right now.
Okay. Thank
I appreciate it, yeah. Well, I have a policy
You
against
do.
bribes. But thank you. They got their plug.
Except for me.
You can take all the bribes your conscience allows.
I will keep them coming.
No, I don't suppose your
No, we're going
integrity
to
is
return
for
them.
sale for the price of a case?
No.
No.
We return them. I will return it.
I don't care. Do whatever you want.
Do you care or not? Ooh.
Well, I buy everything, including
Right.
your iPad, so.
Yeah.
I just feel like people sometimes ding me for that. Oh, you're such a show-off. You buy everything. No, believe me, I don't want to buy everything. But I just also, what I don't want is calls from the PR people saying, how come you didn't like our product?
Right.
I don't ever hear from them because I didn't get it from them.
I don't talk about stuff that I don't like.
Yeah. You know, almost all magazines and tech journalists use loaners. They use that because they can't afford to buy everything that's out there. I can't. I don't buy everything that's out there. I do tend to buy, you know, a lot of the things we talk about. But there are a few, like Consumer Reports, that don't, and I really honor that. They bought a Tesla to review it, and so when Consumer Reports says this is the best car we've ever reviewed, it's not because they got a free Tesla.
Well, you bought your Tesla to review it too, right?
And I'll be very honest about it, but not until I get it, because I don't want Elon to cancel my reservation. That would be bad. He did that.
All right. So yes, no one's paying me to review these products. And
no, that's nice. Those are nice. I like leather. I like the way it is, but I'm telling you, and I'm kind of surprised because I at first was not a fan of it, but I think Apple's smart cover for the iPad Pro really makes a lot of sense, because it's not a great keyboard, it's a good enough keyboard. It's a very lightweight, easy thing to carry around, unlike the Logitech Create, which I also have. And the keyboard is decent enough to you know, enter, like I said, enter passwords, write short novels, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, the Logitech Create, I feel like it's too big and bulky.
It ended up being too clunky, so I gave it to my mom.
Yeah. That was nice of you.
Yeah, she's built like a truck driver, very sturdy.
All right, now let's talk about someone that does sponsor this show.
Who would that be? Squarespace? I'm thinking Squarespace, but I might be wrong. Squarespace? Love Squarespace. Oh, I love it. Squarespace, by the way, loves iOS. You know that they make the best iOS apps, beautiful apps. There's a blogging app that you can post to your Squarespace site. Use that all the time. There's a portfolio app. If you're a photographer and you use Squarespace for photography portfolio, the portfolio app will take the pictures, and it's really designed to show your clients the pictures. So it's not your website. It's like an app with your photos in it so they can go yay or nay. What else? They have a notes app that they just wrote for fun. Squarespace, let me tell you what it is, first of all. It's hosting for your website, plus the best software, and they're tightly integrated so that they work beautifully together. It's one of the reasons Squarespace sites just never go down. The software automatically, as a site gets busy, will add more bandwidth, will spin up more instances, so they're always responsive, and you pay no more for that. That's just part of the deal. The best hosting. The software is the best, and one of the things I love is these templates. So when you start a Squarespace design, you're going to start a site. You're going to start with one of the existing templates, and I'll tell you why you want to do that. They're designed by the best designers, so they start beautiful, but they're also the best engineering behind them. So they're all mobile responsive. That means you don't have a separate mobile site. Your site just looks great no matter what size screen it's on, from 3.5 inches to 350 inches. It just scales beautifully every time you upload an image. When I put an image on my site, it automatically generates, I think, 9 different versions of that image so that there's one for every size screen. Every template has e-commerce built in, and by the way, pat on the back for great e-commerce. Only Squarespace e-commerce means that your site looks as good as your shopping cart looks as good as your site. It matches the look of your site because it is. You don't get pushed out to some third-party ugly shopping cart. It's part of your site. It's integrated in. Bands love it because they can sell digital music on there, or CDs if you want. They have their concert calendar, great images. It's easy to blog. And no two Squarespace sites look alike. That's a real testament to the power of the templates. HTTPS for your commerce. E-commerce is totally secure. Incidentally, if you are a developer, they have a developer platform that lets you start with either with the existing template or a blank template. If you're a musician, I mentioned musicians. If you're a restaurant, a chef, if you are a plumber, a cake baker, a candlestick maker, no matter what your business, you ought to have a website and you ought to have a Squarespace site. Great support too, and a free domain name with your annual purchase. So here's the deal. Go to squarespace.com. You could try it for free, play with it, just live it up, enjoy it, see how you like it. When you decide to buy, all I ask is you use our offer code iOS today, and you will, oh look, somebody's making mason jar coffee beans. iOS today, and you'll get 10% off your new Squarespace site. Squarespace.com, the offer code is iOS today. Squarespace. You should.
You should.
You should. You should.
You should.
You
I
should.
will.
I did. You should.
I will.
I should. You did.
All right, so now it's time for the feedback. We've got tips from you, questions from you. Let's start with Tess from San Francisco. It's kind of a long one, but it's a goodie. This is a tip for people who've had this very specific problem. I recently solved a problem that was driving me crazy, and I think some of your other listeners might find it useful. In iOS, there is no way to turn off the ringer for individuals in your contact list.
Yeah.
If you turn off Do Not Disturb, it will silence all calls except for your designated favorites. I wanted to do the opposite, designate unfavorites.
Unfavorites, oh yeah.
She says, I want to do this because I have a friend who has a motor disease that makes it difficult to dial the phone, and he's always calling me by mistake. 95% of his calls are accidental.
It's not that she doesn't like him.
She just gets 10 or 15 a day, none of them intentional. I never answer and wait to see if he leaves a voicemail, but the phone was ringing way too often. Early in the morning, late at night, during meals. I wanted to use the native phone app, not something like Google Voice. So I Googled around and I found a solution. I created a song in GarageBand that had
silent song.
Yeah, it had no content.
Brilliant.
And named it Silence. Shared it out to iTunes as a ringtone.
Brilliant.
Then synced the phone with the computer. After that, all I had to do was edit his contact to change the ringtone to silence.
So the default ringtone is ringing, but his ringtone is...
Yes, nothing. Instead of, the default,
Right.
the ringtone I have set up for you.
What's my
which
ringtone?
Baby got back.
Is it really?
No.
Have you ever gotten in trouble for the ringtone?
Done that, or like used someone's voice when it's like, your mom is calling, your mom is calling.
Yeah, that's what you use, isn't
When
it?
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mom is calling.
No, that was The Good Wife.
Yes,
The Good Wife.
think
I
that
always
was
confuse
it.
you
Yeah.
with Juliana Margulies.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm rewatching all of ER, so that's a huge
Yeah,
compliment.
but that's her daughter's
Yeah,
ringtone is...
that is from The Good
Mom, pick up the phone. Mom, pick up the phone.
So yeah, now when he calls,
That's
his phone just sits
Brilliant.
there.
In fact, that's a really good tip, which is having custom ringtones is really a handy thing. Because you can have a quiet one, you can have a loud one.
Yeah.
And I use ringtones, and this is where people get insulted. When you pick a song, and Old MacDonald Had a Farm, that's not, your wife's not going to like that too much.
No.
If that's the song that rings, it should be something like, love, exciting and new, something good, right?
Right. Yeah. Not like the
But I think that's a really good
Stormtroopers theme.
tip. In fact, it's one of the things I kind of try to do, not right away, but when I'm, after a while and I've got the phone working like I want, one of the last things I like to do is really work on that contact list, put the right people in the favorites, get shortcuts on there if I need to, and then have a nice custom ringtone.
Yeah.
I wish it was easier to make ringtones.
It is weird that they don't let you designate
they
unfavorites. You just
It should have unfavorites.
yeah. So you can.
Well, there
have-
may be a block list. There is in some phones, and some
Carriers have block lists, but you don't want to block
no,
him.
No, just
No.
a silence.
Right.
Just a do not disturb,
Right.
but not do not
Yeah,
disturb
he's a
everybody.
special case.
But you can do it that just your favorites are allowed in.
Do you call that a butt dial when somebody calls you by accident?
I do call it that.
Now, is that a booty call or is that different?
That's different.
Okay.
That's really different.
I have to ask Megan, 'cause
All
she's
right.
with the people.
So, okay,
Of
you
the
might
people.
not know the answer to this question. I tried to message you this morning.
I saw the message.
Do you not know the answer?
I have some thoughts.
Okay. So, Jose Pablo from Costa Rica asks, as you know, there is an altimeter in the Compass app. Can you tell me if I can see it in meters instead of feet?
Wow.
So,
Wow.
the Compass app, it's the altimeter part of the compass that is in meters, and I could not find anything in the settings.
Can you
that
even
would-
get the altimeter working? Let me see, because we're at sea level, right? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
60
so it
feet
says-
elevation.
right,
All right, so mine's feet. I have a thought, because there's no
Okay.
setting in the Compass app.
Right, but I'll tell you what I tried that didn't work.
Okay.
I tried to you can change the Maps app to kilometers instead of miles. I tried that.
Didn't work?
It did not change my compass.
So let's try one more thing.
Okay.
This is my best guess.
Okay.
As you know, a lot of times Apple doesn't the app preferences aren't in the app. They're in the settings.
Right.
In this case, I think it's picking up from the language and region setting.
Okay.
Right? Because some regions use meters, some use feet, some use imperial measurements.
He's in Costa Rica.
So what I would, who knows what he's done, but let me just, is Costa Rica use meters? I would presume. Everybody, you know what? We're the only one who doesn't, right? Us and a few, well, I can't find, let's go to Japan. They use meters.
Okay.
Done. Now what will happen is, of course, when you set the region, the whole language changes to Japanese.
So
I've just really shouldn't have probably
you
done
know
that.
Japanese,
Now it's
right?
gone dark. What's going on? The phone is really unhappy. So I'm wondering if, but I can't tell because,
What if you send it to like the UK?
yeah, the UK would be another good one. Now, is it meters? Go ahead and you do it.
Okay.
'Cause I've
So
just
where
killed my
did you go?
phone.
What settings?
So kids, don't do this at home.
Oh, we just figured out another error, like going back to January
Oh, wait a minute,
1st,
came back.
1970.
Okay. Now notice I'm in yen.
Excellent.
I have the decimal point and the commas, right?
Super.
The region format. But now let me go to compass. Now, if this is the grand test. Is it in meters? It is in meters. So we went from 60 feet to 10 meters elevation.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
So that was a good guess.
Yeah, but then you don't necessarily want your phone to be in Japanese.
No, but apparently he hasn't set it to be in Costa Rica either.
Though in Costa Rica they use meters.
Well, it should fix that. I bet you didn't. I bet your region's wrong. So go in settings, language and region, and make sure that your region is set for Costa Rica. Let's try. I guess I'll have to go to Costa Rica and just see. Costa Rica. You know, that's the funny thing is everybody uses meters, don't they? Now, is this going to go dark again?
Let's see. Well,
Apparently,
I think changing to Japanese
it's changing
characters
everything.
might be harder than.
It's changing everything on the phone. The phone has now gone dark again, and in about 5 minutes, it's going to light up again. It is set, by the way, by default to Cupertino. Your time zone is, your region is set to Cupertino because
Our
that's where
minds are set to Cupertino.
Everything's Cupertino. It's all about the Cupertino. That's where Apple is, of course. Waiting. See, it
Oh,
takes.
there
There
it's
it is. Okay. So now I'm in Costa Rica. And by the way, you don't have to use a Gregorian calendar. You can use other calendars, Japanese or Buddhist.
Good to know.
Let's go to the Compass app, and it's in meters.
Wow.
So I think the guy who's writing to us neglected to change his region when he came to Costa Rica.
Well, I'm glad you had an answer. Thanks. All right, should we move on to the next question?
Sure, I'm on a
Ludwig.
roll.
Ludwig asks, my brothers and
He
I.
what?
He asks.
Okay.
He asks.
He axes. Okay. What is he
I got
axing?
caught up with the Ludwig. Ludwig
Ludwig
asks. I have a question. My brothers and I are looking for an app that we can track the food and beverage inventory at our family retreat.
Who doesn't want
So
that?
not exactly a shopping app, but we can track and share the contents of our fridge and cupboards there. So my
What
first
about
thing was
that app that you like so much?
Wonderlist?
Yeah, no, not the to-do list. The database app that you like, Vink or whatever it was.
Airtable.
Airtable.
Yeah, that seems
That would
like
do
it.
it, right?
Yeah.
You
I
could
would
set up
just
a
say-
database.
Yeah, or I would just say Google Keep.
Google Keep.
I would, because Google Keep not only has lists, but also pictures. So you could take a picture of
Sure.
your fridge and
It's
then
not
put
a
it
structured database.
No.
So, I mean, usually for this is an inventory question, right? I mean, whether it's I want to keep track of my DVDs and books, or I want to keep track of my food items in my refrigerator, or it's an inventory. And so there are, I'm sure, dedicated inventory programs, but all an inventory really is a database. And with your program, Airtable, you could set up a list of all the different things, how many you have, how many you would like. It could even probably generate a report that says you need this, 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 and this. Keep would be much simpler because it's not structured.
Right.
It's just, kind of free form.
Yeah, this is what a woman's brain looks like. Here, Google Keep. Like
I've always
everything's
wondered.
this
You know,
is what it
I
looks like.
love Keep because it's simple.
And it has your picture in it with a sailor hat.
Not only is it simple, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
Does that come with every copy?
Yeah, it does.
That is nice.
Not always in the green. Some people get the red.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just like
I
that
love
you could
Google
take
Keep,
pictures.
and that's new. They didn't have that until recently for
Yeah.
iOS. I've been using. So Lisa and I share our shopping list on Google Keep, so that either one of us can change it on iOS, on Android, on the web, and it will automatically be changed for both of us. You can even attach a Google Keep note to a location, so my Google Keep shopping list pops up when I get to the market.
Right. So this is good for them because they can share. Even just like the Notes app, you can share. I guess most people
Yeah.
know that, but you can just.
Spreadsheets are good for this.
Complicated you want.
You could use Google Sheets and share that sheet.
You could get three $6,000 smart fridges and take them on vacation with you. That would also keep track.
Fridges. I bet I'm just going to try it. If I search the App Store for inventory management, that there
interesting.
will be some. I mean, that's really what this is.
Inventory.
And it's obviously inventory management. And let's see how many apps there are.
But you
Here's
still
a
have to
few
go
of them.
in and cross it out. when you
Pantry
need something.
manager. How about that? Restaurant inventory. How about that? Sales manager, cashier, inventory and sales manager.
The
on
pantry
shelf.
manager is likely to have already things listed.
I would guess this. Well, it's a restaurant, right?
No, they're just going on vacation with their brothers.
Oh, it's just a home.
Yeah, he and his brothers are looking for an app that
Oh.
can track the food and beverage inventory at our family retreat.
Oh.
They're going on a retreat.
Yeah, well, this is for household items. It has expiration date reminders. I could use that. Shopping list that matches the items you own or will buy. You can even scan a barcode that'll add the items in.
Oh, that's good.
That's a nice feature. So
Yeah.
this is $3.99. Pantry Manager by MJ Lyco LLC. You know,
Scanning a barcode, that's useful.
that would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Do you
'Cause
still use Remember the Milk ever? Do you remember?
I remember the milk. Does UPC barcodes.
You know, the other...
This is nice. It has Apple Watch.
Do you know the other app, remember we recommended Big Oven? That app that
Love Big Oven.
incorporated your recipes. So if you're, planning the recipes for the family retreat.
Well, but remember, my choice is paprika. Love. I use paprika all the time.
And that has grocery lists too.
Oh, yeah.
So
And it's easy to get recipes in because it has a browser built into it. So you can go to a website with recipes, and in almost every case I found, it'll just, those are ingredients, okay, that's instructions. It'll just do it. It'll just make a recipe card. So great. Love paprika.
I still think the simple Google Keep or Notes
There's some
or even
choices.
Wonderlist also.
Quite a few
is
choices.
Shared lists.
Grocery IQ is another shopping list app I've used for a long time that also allows sharing. Sharing is going to be key, right? Because you want everybody to be on the same list.
Right.
Yeah.
So if everybody doesn't have iPhones, can you all use Notes? I guess if some people are on Android, it
Sure.
would be harder to use.
Sure.
Notes.
I
share
mean,
Notes.
yeah, you want to share. Yeah, that's right. So it should be cross-platform, shouldn't it? Yeah, that's.
Well, I
great.
don't know. We'd have to
if they have
ask
some
if
Android
Ludwig's
users.
brothers
Those
are-
darn Android users, they really get in the way.
All right. Thomas asks, I'm looking to get the new iPhone 7 when it comes out this year to upgrade from my iPhone 6
Who
Plus.
isn't? Yeah.
Would you know if Apple will allow me to trade in my old iPhone for the one plus
If
some
you
bucks,
did the
of course?
trade-in, yeah.
Well, that's what I emailed him back. I said, did you do the iPhone Forever program? But even if you didn't, they'll start at any time,
You
right?
can start
I'm guessing.
And it's not just Apple that does this. All the carriers do it as well. In fact, I think Sprint announced they're going to do it for the Galaxy 7. That you could have a new Galaxy every year.
Galaxy 7 Forever.
Yeah. No,
So
yeah,
one
the
year,
same
every
phone
other
over
year, you
and
get a
over.
waterproof phone.
No, but yeah, most people will allow you to do. It's at greater cost, obviously, but the way it works essentially is you pay a monthly fee, and you have to turn in the old iPhone when the new one comes out, and you'll get one
And
automatically.
it has to be in good condition too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They have to be able to sell it because they're going to recoup some of that value by selling it.
And they say it's $15 a month, but that's for the smallest one that you wouldn't want anyway.
Yeah, as low as.
$15 a month.
Yeah. I should probably do that because I always get the new iPhone.
I should do it. You should do it for me.
You know what I discovered? This is a little tip for you. If you
Okay.
travel, because my son's in Barcelona, and he lost his phone first day, of course. So I sent him an Android phone. He said, no, I want an iPhone. I said, of course you want an iPhone. So he said, but here's the deal. I'm in Barcelona and I'm on AT&T, and I know I'm going to be, he's all there all semester, so he's not going to do 2 weeks worth of expensive data from AT&T. He says, all my friends, I said, use T-Mobile. He said, well, all my friends use Sprint now. Remember T-Mobile had this plan where you get unlimited texting internationally in something like 50 countries or something. You have to check the list. Spain's one of them. Unlimited texting, 20 cents a minute international calling, and unlimited free low-speed data, 2G data. Although when we traveled in Germany, which is the home of T-Mobile, Deutsche Telekom, we found that we were getting 3G a lot of the time, and they try to upsell you to a faster connection.
Yeah.
Turns out there's a similar system from Sprint called One World, and it's even better. So he said, all my friends are using Sprint. So same idea, 20 cents a minute for calling, unlimited free texting. That's, by the way, for his generation, the most important thing,
Yeah.
right? Wi-Fi's everywhere, but you get the first gigabyte a month of data is high speed, or 3G at least, and then it throttles down to 2G. So he said everybody's using this. So if you're traveling internationally, it's gotten a lot easier if you're coming from the United States to most of the rest of the world. It's gotten a lot easier to and a lot less expensive to use your smartphone,
Good
which
to
is
know.
good.
I have Sprint next time you need to send
you?
someone to Barcelona for Mobile World
I have Sprint now
Congress.
too.
Yeah, you do. So he's in Barcelona. Why isn't he reporting from Mobile World
I told
Congress?
him, I actually sent him a text saying, would you like to help out? No response. He's busy. Barcelona is a fun town for a young
If I
guy.
were his age, I'm not sure I would be wanting to report from
21,
Mobile World Congress. right now.
footloose and fancy-free in Barcelona.
All right, so Jason from Mount Airy, North Carolina, wrote a couple.
Who's from Mount Airy? Isn't Andy Griffith from Mount Airy? I think he is. Go ahead.
I don't know. I know Jason is, or
Yeah.
so he says.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, someone was looking for an app to track mileage. They had just started a business, and we recommended.
Yeah, several. Well, Automatic
Yes,
was
right,
one of them,
and
right?
FreshBooks.
Expensify.
So Jason says, I use MileIQ. It has been the best app that I have found
I've
as
heard of
long as
that.
you have your phone with you. You get 30 free drives a month. If you need more than 30 drives, it's $5.99 a month for unlimited drives. However, the person said they just started a business, so they pay the $5.99 a month. According to my tax person, Jason says, in Mount Airy, he says, by no means am I a computer tech as well, but he said, I can claim the cost, and they have
course you
claimed
can.
it in the last 2 years as a business expense.
Sure, it's a business expense.
MileIQ.com.
That is a great service. Love MileIQ. I forgot. I don't know why I didn't mention that.
All right, we got one more email, and sadly, I didn't write down who sent us this email. But thank you for sending this email. And I don't know if you know the answer either, so this is one of those that we'll just see.
By the way, Andy Griffith is from Mount Airy, North Carolina.
Good to know. Well, you know that, so. This is about the apps that show up on the slide over. Some of the apps that I hardly use show up.
Yeah.
Is there a way to determine what apps show up on the slide over? I know.
Well, what's really annoying is that the order is non-obvious.
Right, and
I
then
think
you have to.
I think it has to be in the. I don't know what it is. Is it backwards alphabetical? Is it most used? I don't know. I think obviously it's got to be an app that will support slide over, and that's why not every app is in there. This is something that the developers can turn on. They can indicate that they support it, and my guess is most apps will eventually support it. Not all apps make sense. You're not going to play a game that's a full-screen game and slide over. But so as long as the app supports, this notion of sliding like this, it should show up in the sidebar. The other thing I find, first of all, I'm not crazy about slide over because it doesn't always work, right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is you always get the last thing that you did, so you have to slide twice to get to the
Right.
icons. And then they're not in alphabetical order. I don't know what kind of order they're in. I guess most used, but the most used is in the middle.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That is like crazy,
Any
but that's
sense at all.
kind of what I think I'm getting.
Right, and then the apps that I use often, like Google Docs and Google Sheets, they're not in there.
Really? Yeah,
don't
well, that
think
means they
so.
don't support it.
Yeah.
Pages, of course, does. Maybe you should think
Google
about
Drive
using
is
the
there.
Apple.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe Google Sheets does, but I just can't find it because I get tired scrolling. We should just spend the next 20 minutes scrolling.
This strikes me as an ill thought out implementation. For instance, why is so much space occupied?
Yeah.
You could have 20 icons there easily. In fact, Samsung does on their slide out. It just doesn't make sense. Why is so much space
And look at-
wasted?
Like this is the graphic app, and like, am I gonna really draw a picture over there like that? That's totally
Well,
useless.
you can move it
Oh
over.
yeah, you can. Is
So-
slide? Is that a different word than slide over?
I don't know what it
Okay.
is.
Yes, I can draw.
I feel like this was an afterthought from Apple.
Yeah.
As unfortunately lately, a lot of things are
Yeah.
not fully baked.
Well, thank
The
you for
bottom
that
to the
question.
top, most
Sorry, we don't
recently
have the answer.
used, somebody's
Bottom to
saying.
the top, most recently
Oh,
used.
that's BTTMRU sorting.
Right, of course. All right. Well, how about something that makes a little more sense, like Gazelle?
Getting a new phone makes sense. And you know what? This is the time to do it. Next month, the iPhone 5 SE, we think, rumor, but it'd be about less than a month, 3 weeks away, right? So you should go right now to Gazelle, because I can tell you one thing, your old iPhone is not getting more valuable. This is the most it will ever be worth ever again, right? Same thing with your Galaxy S6 or your tablet. Same thing with compute. They're not gaining in value, folks. Your device is worth the more than it will ever be ever again today, right now. And the beauty part is you go to Gazelle right now and you get a quote for your old iPhone, and they're committed. They're committed. They have to offer you that price for the next 30 days. That means you have time to see the 5 SE, or whatever they call it, to see it, to see if you want it. If you decide you want it, now you're good to go, but you don't have to. you get time probably to get it. We think they're going to announce it on the 15th and make it available in a couple of days. So that's why you need to do this now. Go to Gazelle.com and get a quote for your old device. You're locked in. They're locked in for 30 days. You are not. You can bail. You don't have to do it. But if you do decide to do it, they'll pay the shipping. They send you a box with a postage mailer, and they'll wipe your data if you forget to. They even buy broken iPhones and iPads, and then they'll send you a check or a PayPal credit or an Amazon gift card that's bumped up 5%, which makes it even more a better deal. Now that's the sell part of Gazelle. There's also a buy part. You can buy at Gazelle because, well, they've got a lot of nicely gently used pre-owned devices. Now they sell only a couple of things. They sell iPads, iPhones, and Galaxy phones. Those are the 3 most popular categories. They have tons of really good quality ones. Of course, everything Gazelle sells goes through a rigorous 30-point inspection and is backed by a 30-day return policy. None of them have carrier contracts, but they will work at all the major carriers. Now they've added something which I really like. You can finance it through a firm right there on the Gazelle website. So pick the thing you want and then click the box that says financing with a firm at checkout. You just provide some simple information. You'll be approved instantly. You could pay in 3, 6, or 12 months through bank transfer, check, through debit card. Really easy, and this makes it even more affordable to get a new phone. Gazelle also offers a 12-month warranty for cell phones and iPads, powered by Assurance Solutions. This will cover not just, defects in manufacture, but water damage, cracked screens, and more. This is a great deal. I want you to go to Gazelle.com to buy or to sell. Gazelle.com. Remember, your iPhone isn't getting more valuable. It's worth more right now than it will ever be ever again. Actually, I shouldn't say that. In 100 years, it might be a valuable antique, much like this hat.
Mm-hmm. Or my hat.
Oh, you look debonair.
I like this hat. It matches my outfit. And
oh, Lady Pirate, eh?
Yeah. Is that what it is? A
yes.
Lady Pirate hat?
We got this for Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Oh.
I sent Carly out, right? Carly and I said, don't get cheap pirate hats. Get the fancy pirate hats.
This is the Tesla of the pirate hats.
The Tesla of pirate hats. It's a luxury pirate. But why, Megan, are we wearing these hats?
Well, we wear funny hats because this is the app cap section of the show.
My favorite
apps,
part.
Caps, favorite apps, favorite hats. Mine, I gave a little spoiler earlier in the show. Mine is MyScript Stylus.
Whatever that was going on there, that was interesting.
It was
Tell
interesting.
me about that.
Okay, so we got the pencil. We got lots of apps where you can draw with. But what if you're not an artist? Is it worth it? Allison Sheridan from NozillaCast sent me this. I'll try to give a demo. If I don't, Anthony, you have the video that she did, which is better. All I have to do is write. So, Dear
Diary.
Leo. Look how messy my handwriting is.
No, your handwriting looks so gorgeous compared to mine.
And it's turning it into...
Oh, it doesn't just take the... it turns it into editable text. Oh, I can't understand
for giving...
Oh, look at that. Wow.
Me...
You know what? That's pretty good.
A job. Okay. So here, look what... Okay, now I need to correct that.
Now, how do you correct? Oh, you spaced it out.
But that, yeah. So then you can also just cross that out.
You gotta work on the corrections. This is where we got in trouble last time.
There we did. Okay, get rid of that. Well, I could just press the delete button if I want to.
Okay, but then you're back to the keyboard and you might as well just type it in the first place.
Well, sure, but I don't have a keyboard.
Oh.
So, let's see if that'll work.
There you go. Graffiti word works that way. Oh, it put another thing in there. How about like a...
So you can also join the words together like that if you wanted to, even though that's...
That's how you add a space. That's how you add a space.
How did I add a space?
You do the join the words together.
Oh, no.
Did I put a U?
To separate for...
Well, now you
cross that out.
Oh.
For... And then I want a space. Giving... Let's roll that video. Sorry, my hat's in the way too. Can we roll the video of Allison?
Allison's good. Now,
yes, and there's no audio, so we can talk about.
She doesn't have great handwriting.
She doesn't. She's a little better than me, but.
Can I do this with my finger?
Yes, you can, and you don't have to have an iPad Pro either. It works on any iPad, and so I highly recommend this for people with an Apple Pencil or for kids who might be using iPads and forgetting how to use handwriting.
Hi. It looks like you're writing a letter. Want some help?
It's much better than that. Look, I mean, I don't know how much. I asked Allison, does it get better as you keep going? And she says a little bit. And she says, there are some issues with it, but it's way better than anything she's seen.
Well, I think once you get used to it, you probably
Right.
does a better job.
And how much would you pay for this great app?
$10?
It's free.
Free!
It is free.
Really?
Yes. So
How can they
you can
do
see
that?
she doesn't have, I don't know. It's MyScript. They also do MyScript Calculator, Allison says, too.
Okay.
We'll link in our show notes.
Oh,
to her
I've
full
used their
review.
calculator.
MyScript calculator.
Yeah.
Do you love it?
Yeah, I really love it.
Oh, she was just showing what you did if you make a mistake. We didn't want to show.
No, we don't want to
If
show
you-
it. It's just confusing.
Look, she can show it better than me. What if you make a mistake? See,
just draw a line
cross
through
a
it.
line through it. What was I doing wrong? Why wasn't it working for me? Oh, a vertical. No, I was doing the vertical line to
That was to
separate
add
the
a
words.
space.
Yeah. See. Okay. Here. What
If I need to replace...
Ooh, this is a good question.
I'm falling asleep.
Just one letter. What if
What?
I want to replace just one
What?
letter? What
Yeah?
do I do?
What do you do?
Ooh, right over it.
You're right over it.
Right over it. Easy. Okay. Alice, we will link to Allison's full tutorial so you can watch it and her full review of it. MyScript Stylus. I love it. I mean, you might not have heard me because you didn't respond, but kids are not learning handwriting if they have iPads and they're typing all the time.
No, I know.
This is great for them.
Yeah.
If the kids have trouble with their fine motor skills and they need to practice and they want to see, because what I have found with the kids in my house, that when they want to write something long, they will say it to Siri, which
Right.
is even worse than using the
Yes.
keyboard.
Welcome to the
So,
future.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not
Everything's
saying
going to respond.
Right. I'm not saying every kid deserves an Apple Pencil, but because you can use your finger or any stylus on any iPad.
Would you be willing to say every good boy deserves fudge?
I would say. Oh dear.
I'm getting punchy.
Okay, let's talk about your app, Kat.
All right, so somebody, Frank Patronus, viewer, listener, emailed me and said, Leo, here's the deal. My wife and I, we take a lot of pictures with our camera, we're with our phones, sometimes with our tablets. We're about to go on travels. I want some way to get all of our pictures together so that I see her pictures, she sees mine, so they're backed up as we travel. Do you have a solution? And I looked, and I organize. He says sometimes I don't want them all online all at the same time because I run out of space in my phone. So I recommended, Lightroom, a few of the things I use, and I there's just some photos, of course, Google Photos, which I still recommend, but there should be something better than this. So I did some searching, and I found this. This is from Seagate. It's called Lyve, Lyve. Now the interesting thing is Seagate list price on this is $300, but right now, and I think for a while, it's on sale on Amazon for $150. Now, notice if you search for Lyve on Amazon, you'll find one for $259, and there's even one for $400. This is all the same product, so be careful. Shop around, but this is the one. It's from Seagate. It's Amazon Prime. Let me tell you what it is. First of all, it's tiny. It's not much bigger than your iPhone. It's about that big. It is 2 terabytes of storage. It can be connected via Wi-Fi or via Ethernet. So you can put this anywhere in your house. And that's nice because it has a little screen, a nice screen, like an iPhone screen on it, that will do a slideshow and show the time. And better than that, you put the Lyve, Lyve, free Lyve software on your phone, and when you get within Wi-Fi, it doesn't have to be at home. It'll do it here. It automatically uploads to the 2 terabyte drive. You could put the Lyve application on your Macintosh or your Windows. It uploads to the 2 terabyte drive. And I have access to all the photos. There's 30,000 photos now on our drive, and I have access to them all on all those devices. So I can see my photos now on any device, all of them. And I'm not giving them to Google. The other thing I do like about this, unlike Google, it's 2 terabytes of storage, and it's the full original quality stored on the hard drive. So this is a really nice way. It kind of does what Apple's iCloud does, but without the monthly fee. And I think at $150 for 2 terabytes, that 2 terabytes, I've been taking digital photos since 2001, and I have 900 gigabytes. I mean, I have less than half of that. So this is going to last you maybe 10, 15 years worth of photos. Another nice thing, you don't have to buy this. it will work, the Lyve software will work with any Seagate disk attached storage. So they have 4 terabyte drives for $110. You plug it into your computer. The bad thing about that, of course, you have to keep your computer running for it to do the automatic backup. This thing's always on. This is a great solution, a great way to back up all your photos, to make them available. This thing, as you see on the back, has an HDMI connector, so I ended up putting it next to our television set, and I can get a slideshow of all of our photos, a screensaver on the television set. Works with iOS, but it also works with Android, works with Macintosh, it also works with Windows. It comes from Seagate. It's probably a way for them to sell more hard drives, but I've been very happy with this, and especially because I found it for $150. That is half off on Amazon, and I suspect that price will be good for a while. It doesn't look like a sale price. Really easy to set up, really a neat solution. You know, as I mentioned, you've got iCloud photos, you've got Google, you've got Flickr. There's lots of ways to back up your photos to the cloud, but I thought this was a really nice solution to have them locally. It has a USB connector, so you can plug in a drive and copy files over to it. It'll even take SD cards, so you can take your camera card out and pop it into the Lyve device and automatically get all the photos copied. A couple of negatives: it doesn't do RAW. So if you're a pro photographer and you shoot a lot of RAW, those photos yet will not be uploaded. Seagate says they're working on that, though. That's good news. They say that's a high priority for them. And I started shooting RAW plus JPEG, so that way I get appropriate JPEGs for this, and I still can shoot RAW. So, boy, I'm really impressed. This was at this price. I was really impressed by it, and I highly recommend it. Lyve. You can get the software for free, and if you have a Seagate backup drive, you don't even need to get the hardware. It'll work with that.
It's like what digital picture frames never were for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's as good as a digital picture frame because it's small. It's as big as it's like having an iPhone. But because it has the time, you could put it on your bedside table or something. And there are a variety of different slideshows you can do with it.
Right.
It's kind of like a digital picture frame, except everything that you take. Right. But you know, you come in the house and get on the Wi-Fi, or actually, you know, I think you can even do it over cellular. And my phone is backed up right away, and it's on there and it's available. I really like that. And Lisa can look at any picture she wants. I can see all the pictures she takes with her phone instantly. Lyve, they have a less expensive, now these are the list prices on the Seagate site. They have a less expensive 500 gigabyte version. Amazon has that for less too. I think it's $100. But I love, for $150, 2 terabytes of storage. That's pretty cool.
That's a good gift for parents too.
It would be. It would be. And you know, it's all tied to a single Lyve account. So you could actually give it to your parents logged into your Lyve account, and then they would get all your pictures. Be careful about that. Just a word of warning.
That's a horrible idea.
Sometimes mom and dad don't want to see all your pictures.
Oh.
That's an app cap plus a little hardware. A thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah. Thank you. I guess we're done then. I guess we've done it all.
Did we jam 2 weeks worth of shows into one small week's package?
I feel like we did.
I feel like we did too. In fact, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, always you can email me at megan@twit.tv or iOS today at twit.tv, possibly iOS. Just do megan@twit.tv.
You do this every week.
I know, I do. I'm sorry. Well, I guess I really want you to email me.
It's charming at this point.
It's charming, thank you.
Megan@twit.tv.
Yes.
Please email her.
Yeah, tweet. I'm at Megan Maroney. Tweet at Leo.
Many people do.
And thanks for joining us.
Is the operative word, by the way.
Yes.
It's not a conversation usually. It's like, at me.
Oh, you responded to someone this morning. You
I respond all the time.
Personal tech support this morning. I saw it at 7 a.m.
You know what? This Lyve thing is personal tech support. Somebody didn't call a radio show or call iOS Today. They just sent me an email. And by the way, don't count on me answering your emails. Please don't. But it was such an interesting question. I thought, and I got a great app out of it, so it was worth it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and we record the show at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time every Monday.
Like pirates.
All right, that's all. See you next week
on iOS Today. Bye-bye.